Google has ditched the Nexus brand, and it's all about Pixel now. It's a flagship phone, with a price to match, but is it any good? In a word, yes. It's up there with the Samsung Galaxy S7 as the best Android phone, thanks to a stunning 12-megapixel camera and crisp 5.5-inch Quad HD display. There's a fast Snapdragon 821 CPU keeping things ticking over, 4GB RAM and 32GB of internal storage plus Google's new assistant. This is an AI, like Siri, that searches the web for handy information. We wish it was water resistant, and the design is a tad boring, but really it's a great phone. With the HTC 10, the Taiwanese company is well and truly back. After the disappointing One M9 and One A9, the HTC 10 is a stunning phone that not only looks fantastic with a bold design, but it also performs like a champion. The Snapdragon 820 CPU and 4GB takes care of all the intensive tasks, while the Quad HD 5.2-inch display is crisp, sharp, and super bright. HTC has done a great job at ensuring Android isn't ruined by bloatware by removing a load of duplicate apps. It has some nifty new addition too, like a clever way of locking out access to certain apps. While HTC claims you'll get multiples days of battery life, we only managed one, but it did easily make it from morning until bedtime. One of the biggest issues with the One M9 was its poor camera, and it has mostly been sorted here. The 12MP ultra-pixel sensor takes great and very detailed photos, while the selfie shooter is the best on the market. It does sometimes overexpose shots, but it's still a good camera. The most recent iPhones were S phones, which means they share the same basic design as the previous version but add a bunch of new features. For the iPhone SE XS, those features include higher resolution cameras and a neat new pressure-sensitive screen technology dubbed 3D Touch. 3D Touch is the outstanding new feature of the iPhone SE XS. It allows you to activate all sorts of features by pressing a little harder on the screen, and it can detect several levels of pressure. For example, press on a link and you can preview it without leaving the app you're in. Press a little harder and it will open it. In Safari, Apple calls this peek and pop. There are numerous small, useful uses for this. A 3D Touch on the camera app icon, for example, gives you the option to take a selfie straight away, so you don't have to select the mode in the app. It's a great way to get to what you need a little faster. Apple's also improved the cameras. The main camera is up to 12 megapixels, from 8 megapixels, and has improved contrast performance. It also shoots 4K video, though it lacks optical image stabilization, a useful feature that improves photo quality in low light. The front camera is improved, too, and adds a clever feature that uses the screen as a flash when taking selfies. It's another excellent phone overall, though we'd like to see wireless charging in the next iPhones Apple launches. If you want a smaller phone, the iPhone SE is the perfect choice. It packs most of the goodies from the iPhone SE XS, but in a shell that can be used easily in one hand. The same 12MP camera sits on the back, while the same A9 CPU and 2GB RAM power the device. This makes it super fast and a pleasure to use. Touch ID and Apple Pay are here too, as is the fetching rose gold color scheme. 3D Touch, though, doesn't make the cut. The smaller display can't match the competition for resolution, but it's still sharp, colorful, and pixels are tough to spot. We do wish the 16GB internal storage option wasn't here, but at least there's the 64GB version. LG has really tried to stand out from the pack with the G5. Its new modular design means you can pull off the bottom and swap out the battery, but you'll also be able to add extra bits to the phone. The initial two are a DAC for improving the audio and a grip that gives you physical camera controls and an extra hit of battery. This system does damage the clean look of the phone, and while LG claims it's metal, it doesn't feel as sturdy as the HTC 10. On the inside though, it's a better story. The Snapdragon 820 CPU and 4GB RAM takes care of everything you throw at it, while the 32GB storage is assisted by a micro South Dakota card. Android 6.0.1 is on board, but it has LG's UX 5.0 on top. It's a little bit heavy, but it's an improvement over last year. The two cameras on the back, two, are fantastic. One is a regular 16MP lens with an f/1.8 aperture and OIS, while the other is an 8MP wide-angle lens that's great for landscape shots. The battery should get you through the day, and there's USB-C fast charging too. The Lenovo-owned Motorola has done it again. The original Moto G kicked off the start of truly great budget phones, and the latest iteration, the Moto G4, takes it to another level. For £169, you get a great 1080p 5.5-inch display and plenty of power from the Snapdragon 617 CPU and 2GB RAM. For the price, there isn't much that competes. There's 16GB storage as standard, though a 32GB option is available, and this can be expanded through microSD. On the back, you'll find a very impressive 13MP camera and a 5MP version on the front for selfies. The actual camera app has been given a vast improvement too, with a nice set of manual features and a sleek look. Actually, software on the whole is fantastic here, probably because it's just stock Android 6.0.1 with a couple of Moto tweaks. The 3000 mAh battery is hefty and will get you through a whole day. The Nexus 6P doesn't have a microSD slot. It's just about the only complaint we can think of about this phone, and it's hardly alone in omitting that feature. In every other respect, the Nexus 6P is one of the best Android phones ever made. One of the smartphones ever. Actually, the fact this is a Nexus phone helps. It doesn't have any annoying extra stuff you don't want or need, and you'll get Android updates when they're available, not 6 months later. But this is first time Google has combined that with a desirable high-end phone that can match the iPhone and Samsung Galaxy phones. It's large at 5.7 inches, but the screen is brilliant and battery life is very good. Vitally, it has a decent camera. Its 12-megapixel effort isn't quite as good as Samsung's and Apple's cameras, but it's damn close. Low-light photos look great and it captures plenty of detail. If you want the best Android experience possible, this is the phone to buy. The OnePlus 3T can be considered an evolution of the OnePlus 3 rather than a true follow-up, but considering how much we loved the OnePlus 3, this is no bad thing. The new OnePlus 3T rectifies the few shortcomings of its predecessor, packing in a 13% larger 3400 mAh battery as well as offering a new larger 128GB capacity option. Considering there's no microSD expansion, this is a good thing if you need the space. Other improvements have happened internally, including a new Snapdragon 821 processor, just like in Google's Pixel range of phones. The front-facing selfie camera has also been bumped up to 16 megapixels, 2 for the money. The OnePlus 3T is the best Android experience you're going to find. The S6 Edge from last year was a bold release for Samsung, signaling a new design direction for the company. The Galaxy S7 Edge, though, refines on that formula, and it works so well that gorgeous Quad HD panel might be the same as before, but it's larger here, 5.5 inch as opposed to 5.1 inch, and it helps the phone fit nicely into your palm. The curved edges look beautiful, and the slight curve to the back is an inspired design choice pinched from the Note 5. Looks aside, the Galaxy S7 Edge performs as you'd expect from a Samsung flagship. The Exynos 8890 CPU and 4GB RAM is a combination that chews through everything from day-to-day to intensive gaming. There's an ever-so-slight lag in TouchWiz, that's Samsung's Android skin, but it's far from a deal-breaker. On the back there's a 12-megapixel camera with dual pixels for faster autofocus and IMPO-RV'd low-light performance. Snaps aren't a whole lot better than the S6, but they are still fantastic. Crisp, clear and bright. The 5MP selfie shooter has a nice wide-angle lens too, so you can cram more faces in. The battery lasts all day, it's IP68 water resistant, and the microSD has returned. An all-round winner. We rarely give a phone full marks here at Trusted Reviews, but the Samsung Galaxy S7 deserves that accolade. The Korean company has taken the S6 and improved just about everything. The Exynos 8890 processor is ridiculously fast and there's 4GB RAM for silky smooth multitasking, while the battery has had a much-needed bump from 2600 mAh to 3000 mAh, meaning it'll easily get you through the day. The camera has been spruced up too. It's now a 12MP sensor, down from 16MP, but the pixels are bigger and the aperture has been widened to f/1.7 to let more light in. The result? Super detailed photos that don't get ruined by low light surroundings. It's a lovely looking phone, and the addition of the slightly curved back makes it easier to pick up of a table and just generally hold for longer periods of time. Gorilla Glass 4 covers both the front and back, but it feels durable. It's IP68 rated for water resistance too, so you can dunk it in 1 m of water for 30 minutes. Or take it in the bath. TouchWiz has been toned down to the point where it isn't such a chore, though there is still a lot of pre-installed software that can't be deleted. The Samsung Galaxy S7 is a fantastic phone, probably the best out there.